My goodness. This day, so far already. Ah! Okay, sorry, didn't mean to yell. But I did figure out a bit of a temporary workaround so I can go live. Not going to be able to bust out. Well, no, I guess there's a way I could use some music beds in the background, but yeah, going to be a challenge till Jade gets here. Have tried all of the things I need to do to get the computer system working properly, and it's just not going to. So, hopefully he can fix it. It's kind of been an ongoing issue. Just frustrates me that it can melt down in the middle of the night when no one's here. Unless Peaches did it right before he left. Peaches, I don't need this kind of grief first thing in the morning, all right? Trying to get my day going. Got to be kidding me. So yeah, I guess here we go. Some of these music beds I may not have used for quite some time. Let's see if this works here, doing it this way. Yeah, it does. All right, let's take a look at dumb things people said. All right. Anytime I can make myself feel a little bit better about my level of intelligence, I'm down to do that break. So somebody asked on Reddit, what's the dumbest thing you've ever heard someone say with absolute confidence? All right, at a petting zoo, child pointing at animal. What's that? The mom says, it's a deer. You can tell by the ears. It was a kangaroo. All right, they look similar. A deer, it could look kind of like a weak kangaroo that's walking on all fours, I guess. Kangaroo, the buff deer. All right. In Yellowstone, I saw a child point at a bull elk and ask his dad if it was a deer. Totally normal question for a child to ask and not too far from being correct. The dad answered, no, that's a moose. You can tell by the velvet on its antlers. And there was no velvet on the elk's antlers anyway. All right, still, we know how it is with Turons in Yellowstone. Tourist morons. Wouldn't be too surprised that somebody can't tell the difference between an elk and a moose. All right, I'll forgive him. You're from Alaska. How do you speak such good English? All right, that's probably dumber than not being able to identify an animal. But I don't know, Alaska, even though it's part of the U.S., it's out there. It's out there a ways. You have to go through another country to get to it, so... Correct? There's no direct land connection from, say, Washington State? No, you have to go through Canada. I'm confident, even though I don't have a map in front of me. And if I'm dumb, whatever. All right, let's see here. My cousin has said some belters over the years. Let's see. He thought Australia is at least 2 days in front of us. So he thought he could travel, watch the cricket game, and call home to tell us the results and bet without losing. Took nearly an hour to explain his errors and the 24-hour clock. Yeah, just because you're in a different time zone doesn't mean you're traveling through time. All right? Oh. Let's see here. When NASA said they'd found signs of water on Mars, he literally thought it was actual signs saying water this way. Oh, I've met some dumb people. That one's pretty bad. I don't know, if I had a family member bust out that one, I think I'd be very concerned. What else do we have here? It would be fun to see how close you could get to the ground before pulling the cord on a parachute. Would someone have... What does this mean? Would someone have the bottle to pull it up 10 feet from the ground because he thought when you pull the cord, you spring back up? Not that the cameraman is still falling. All right, I could understand that if you've only seen video. All right, anyway. This setup is awkward, but I guess I'm making it work. I'm going to take a break, though, because that last 10 seconds of having to make do I know this is a vagary here with my stupid system, but it annoyed me bad enough that I'm ready to bail. So we'll be back. What's up? Welcome to the Victor Wilt Show. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I think I've got a system working here to where I can do this program till Jade gets here. Seems to be working pretty good. I did spend the last few songs yapping on the phone with listeners, though, so didn't really dig up any fresh content. And now I'm a little bit distracted, because anytime I hear about people whining, meh, it's just so annoying to me. I'm not going to get into it, even though I really want to. I really want to, but, if you ever have a complaint about my program, you can call me. Okay, I have a phone here, and I actually do a live radio show. I'm not like most of the shows around where it's pre-recorded. So, occasionally I get going. Maybe I fly off the handle. And sometimes I look back on a break and go, should I have done that? I don't know. But that's the nature of going live. You can't take it back. You can't edit it. You can't fix it. So, yeah. Sometimes maybe I say some things and maybe it doesn't even come out the best. If you're ever concerned about something that you hear on this program, call me. Or if you're afraid to call me, you can message me. Now, I prefer that you call me because we can actually, get our feelings across in a rational manner. It's very difficult to have a conversation with somebody through, say, text or instant messenger, email, because sometimes your emphasis on certain things just isn't going to come across the way you'd like it to. Maybe you use some wrong words. So I would definitely prefer if I ever say something that you disagree with or whatever, just call me. Call me and talk to me. Don't whine to other people about it, especially when it's not a big deal. All right? I really miss being able to just have discussions with people like we used to back in the day. Could have a nice debate. Could, talk with people we disagree with. Not just shut down the walls. That doesn't even make any sense. But you know what I mean. Not just put up walls around us, create an echo chamber, and only be fed information that we like. But yeah, I'm sorry. When I hear that people are whining about some dumb thing I said to other people, it's like, just call me. I'm here. It's a live radio show. I pick up the telephone. I worked out a system this morning so I could actually do this show live, so I can sit by this phone and pick it up. So don't be afraid to call me. Ask anybody. I'm a very reasonable human being. I don't... It's getting screaming matches with people. Anyway. All right. Now I got that out of my system. I'm sure somebody didn't like that. But, yeah. I would love to chat with you. Even if you hate my guts and disagree with me. You can call me anytime. 208-535-1015. And what's so funny is I don't really say much of anything that should be considered controversial to me. That's why I need to hear your perspective, apparently. Because I keep it real tame compared to the way I could do things. Well, anyway, it's almost 7 o'clock. The first hour of this show has been a challenge, but we're making it through. Let's power through Thursday together, and we'll try to have some fun. But yeah, if you got anything on your mind, you just call me, okay? I am here. Oh, we got a caller. Let's go ahead and try to go to the phone here. I don't know, my system's being weird, so we'll try. K-Bear, how's it going?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. Just rolling through the morning.
Right.
So what up?
Dear Victor, I hate your stinking guts.
Well, good. I hate your guts, too. I hate your guts, too. Let's see how much hate we can get on these phone lines today. Somebody else is calling. I hope they've got hate too. Oh, man.
All right. Have a good one, Victor.
You too, man. Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Well, the other person hung up. So, again, you can call me anytime about anything. I'm here doing a live radio show like the old school days, and I would love to talk to you, even if you hate my guts. All right? I will not break. It's the name of this song I'm going to play. Yeah, Disturbed, their new one. All right. It's 7 o'clock. We're partying. I'm feeling a little bit more awake now. Let's go. All right. Well, at least I'm keeping a bit productive around here in the wake of lack of content this morning. Did I manage to freeze the computer up there? All right. Great. Well, that's okay. That's okay. We can take a look at something from the other computer here. I know there was something specific I was going to talk about, but let's just wing it, people. All right. This one won't be controversial, right? Talking about a new business in Rexburg I was reading about at eastidahonews.com. Yeah, I don't want to make anybody mad. But if I do make you mad, again, call me. 208-535-1015. I'd love to discuss it. No, they got a new bin store in Rexburg. I've seen one of these in Idaho Falls before. This one is called Bargain Treasure Bins, 240 Dividend Drive. Basically, you walk in and they've got these giant bins filled with all kinds of stuff. Everything from books and movies to earbuds, cell phone cases, rugs, appliances. Yeah, and you get it for an incredible deal. And each day when they put out the new products on Saturday, each day, everything starts going down in price. They just, continue to discount things. So you can get some crazy screaming deals on stuff. And if you want to learn more about this, they've got a video posted at eastidahonews.com. Just look under BizBuzz in their features section and go check it out. If you're a bargain shopper like me, this is the kind of place for you. So, yeah, you should go scope it out. Pretty cool. Every penny counts in this day and age, so anything you can do to save dough might as well save a few bucks. Maybe you got some birthday shopping you need to do and things like that. Yeah, save a bunch of money over regular retail price and go check out Bargain Treasure Bins in Rexburg. Okay, that computer unfroze, so that's great. Let's move along. We'll be back in just a minute. New stuff from Coheed and Cambria. Goodbye, sunshine. What up? It's Victor Wilt. No, we need to say hello, sunshine. It's been pretty nice the last couple days, but I did look at the weather report yesterday, and looking like it might get a little bit crappy for the weekend, which sucks, because was planning on going to Salt Lake City. Well, I'm going to Salt Lake City with Jade and Ben from the Advocates. Check out that Make Them Suffer show. Hopefully, the weather will stay somewhat decent. No fun walking around downtown Salt Lake in the rain. Boo. Anyway, morning. Welcome to the show today. It's been a challenge. When I got here, my computer wasn't working. It's still not really working, but I managed to do a little bit of a workaround to get things working properly. Then I got talking with some callers. One of the callers was telling me how, they talked to numerous people who were bothered by something on my show, and I was trying to figure out what it was. I'm like, what have I said recently that could actually bother people? Because I keep it super tame around here, in my opinion, So I got looking through some notes on old shows, and I think I figured it out. Is it because I made fun of Elon Musk? Is that it? When he was saying that he could take down a sumo wrestler, or that he had taken down a sumo wrestler? I mean, come on, everybody. I have made fun of Elon Musk for years, long before he got involved in politics, okay? If Jade walked in and was like, yeah, yesterday I took down a sumo wrestler, I'd be like, shut up, Jade. Look at you. You did not take down a sumo wrestler. Let's see you take down Peaches. If you can take down Peaches, then I'll believe you. Anyway, Somebody got really mad at me online one day because I said Elon Musk is not funny. I don't think that's controversial either. And he's not an elected politician, so I don't think it's political to make fun of him. He's pretty cringy. Come on, we can agree that he's pretty cringy. All right. Well, anyway, I guess I'll avoid that topic because people are so sensitive. I just thought it was a ridiculous statement, so I need content for the show. You know, I'm not getting into the political workings of the world. It's a challenge because that's all that's in the news, you know? So if I finally see something funny like, okay, Elon Musk versus sumo wrestler. Remember when Elon Musk was going to fight Mark Zuckerberg in a cage match? Nobody had a problem with us talking about that at that time. That was like a year ago. You know, just because somebody gets into a different role, I don't think that means they're no longer fair game to poke out or poke at, you know, some of the silly things they say. But I'll stop, okay? I guess, because, you know, again, rather than call and discuss it with me, which would be fun, I like a nice conversation on the air. Just whine to my friends about it. Maybe it wasn't that. I don't know. Was it that break yesterday where I said that, you know, if the phrase everyone is welcome here bothers you, that there's something weird going on, you know, and you might want to talk to somebody? I just didn't think that's an offensive phrase. Okay. Anyway, phones aren't lighting up, so I guess nobody wants to talk about it. I guess I successfully navigated another break without bothering anybody. I'm going to assume if nobody calls in to actually talk with me about stuff on air, that I'm not bothering anyone. If you're talking to somebody else outside the show, I'm going to assume you just looked at my Facebook or something and were like, because again, I keep it pretty tame on here as far as I'm concerned. Hey, what's up, my people? It's the Victor Wilt Show. Making it work. Let's do some freak news. All right, I'm watching a video right here of a clown getting arrested. Oh, he had a flare gun in his pocket. Dressed up as, I think that's a Ronald McDonald outfit there. Showed up at a Palm Bay, Florida shopping center. And I don't know, I guess he'd been banned from there before, so he decided to try to disguise himself as a clown. So he shows up and they're like, dude, you're not allowed here. You need to get, didn't want to go. So, yeah, cop showed up and you don't want to get arrested dressed up like a clown. You're already behaving like a clown. I mean, go to a different shopping center, dude. Also, you know, I don't know what the deal with the flare gun was, but yeah, a clown with a flare gun. That's kind of frightening. Kind of frightening. So anyway, don't worry. They got him. They got him. He's in jail. Here, let's talk about another frightening story. Got a babysitter in Kansas. You know, she's putting the kids to bed, and the kid's like, can you check under my bed for a monster? And, you know, the babysitter was like, of course. Yeah. Look, no monsters. Oh, there's a man under the bed. Jeez. That's unnerving. That's why I got cameras all over the outside of my house. Ain't nobody hiding under my bed aside from a cat that might attack my feet. All right? Let's see here. California juvenile detention officers staged gladiator fights between youth. Oh, that's fantastic. We believe it was planned, it was intended. Well, yeah, you've got video showing the guys lined up on the sides, all the other juveniles surrounding the guys in the middle who then engage in a brawl. Does look like it was planned. It didn't look like it just kind of happened. Oh man, people are terrible. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched any of those documentaries about like schools that you can send your kids off to whip them into line, you know? Hey, you got a misbehaving teenager. Sure, Yeah, send them to the Elon school for a while. Yeah, don't do that, okay? You should watch documentaries about that. I know that a lot of documentaries can be bothersome, and some people don't like to be exposed to the horrible realities of the world, but I recommend a nice documentary binge from time to time, and just punish yourself a little bit with the harsh realities that we are facing day by day. It might not be pleasant, but you got to know about these things. All right, it's kind of a light freak news day here. Got a guy who stole a bunch of Cadbury eggs, 220 euros worth. Now, what's cheaper in this day and age? Cadbury cream eggs or regular eggs? You can't really cook up an omelet with a cream egg, but they're good. I don't know how good it is for you to eat, 4 of them. But hey, you're trying to save money on eggs. Might have to go the candy route. Yeah, a lot of people are disgusted by Cadbury cream eggs. I think they're delicious. They're delicious. I'm glad there aren't any sitting around here. I've really got to get myself into shape. Stop eating just garbage. All right, there's your freak news. Let's do some more music back in a second. I'm going to go see if Jade's here. Get him to fix my computer. All right, hopefully I'm going to make you feel a little bit better about your boss this morning, because I was just reading about a police chief in New Jersey accused of, we'll just say going to the bathroom next to people's desks and spiking people's coffee with Viagra. Now, depending on what you've got planned for the day, maybe part of that not necessarily a bad thing. But nobody want to walk into work and be like, what's that smell? Ugh! Yeah. Now, he's only accused of this. Hasn't been convicted yet. Bob Farley, sworn in as police chief in February 2024 in North Bergen, New Jersey. Yeah, 5 officers planning to sue for his alleged retaliation, discrimination, misconduct, and harassment. So they say it's a hostile workplace, includes juvenile pranks like putting firecrackers under chairs. Yeah, you're in a police station. You don't want to suddenly hear what could sound like a gunshot going off. And then, taking it a little bit further by, putting drugs in their coffee. Things like Viagra, Adderall, and what? Jabbing a needle into an officer's blank. The one place as a man you would not want some, superior officer to jab a needle into. How did that happen? I guess just right through his pants. Just thought it would be funny. Took a hypodermic needle and he would also shave and put his body hair on people and their food, exposed himself, made inappropriate comments, and that whole going to the bathroom on the floor and in garbage cans. Wow. Apparently, the abusive behavior began as soon as this guy was named police chief, and he'd been a 26-year veteran of the job. See, some people shouldn't be put into positions of power. They just go wild. So if you've been frustrated with your boss recently, it happens. At least your boss isn't like Bob Farley, right? You could be having a worse day at work. I mean, my boss comes in here and farts all the time, right, Jade? By the way, Jade, if you're listening, I need help with the computer. We got some issues over here. The PC OIP thing? I've tried to reset, unplug, plug back in. I've tried punching the computers. Nothing's working, buddy. So come on down. No farting while you're here. What was it? A couple weeks ago, we talked about this Cheeto up for auction. that looked like a Charizard from Pokemon? How much you think that ended up selling for? I'll give you a hint. It's a lot of money. $88,000. 88 grand for a Cheeto. I'm looking around the studio here. What kind of stuff could I sling for a good amount of money? Because I need some spare cash. All right, I have a nice picture of Jade and myself with Papa Roach. What do you think I could get for that? Tree fitty? Tree fitty! No, I mean, most of the stuff that's worth dough, we give away to you listeners. I need to stop doing that. Just need to put it in a nice, safe place and save it so I can sell it for money. I mean, we got a lot of signed posters in here. Got an Alter Bridge signed poster. How much would you pay me for that? I got the poster. I think it's mine. I should be able to sell it. Right, Jade? All right, Jade hasn't called to say no, so I'm pretty sure I could sell whatever I want out of the studio that I acquired. All right? So, if you got a favorite band and you're wondering if we have a signed poster, I'll give you a sweet deal. Because I ain't got no... Wait a minute. I might actually have some Cheetos in my office. Many, many months ago, I brought a bag of jalapeno Cheetos in here because I was like, all right, I might feel like some Cheetos. And then I put them in a cabinet in my office and I just forgot about them until right now. I'm going to go dig through my Cheetos and see what I got. Maybe I got a Cheeto that looks like peaches. How much can we get for that? I mean, $3.50, that would make up for the price of the bag of Cheetos. Now that they've been aging in my office, how about vintage Cheetos? 6 months old. Cheetos, once owned by Victor Wilt. $5? Anyway, look around your house. If you have anything that could potentially look like something popular to nerds, you might be able to make some serious dough. And how hard could it be to find a Cheeto that looks like, a Pokemon? There's a lot of different Pokemon. I mean, if I could sell a Cheeto for $10, I'd be stoked. So, yeah, I'm going to get digging. I need some money. Oh boy, did you see Ronnie Radke's latest tantrum about Godsmack? It was pretty funny. He posted, I don't know if it was a TikTok video or what, but he was comparing Godsmack's stage entrance to Falling in Reverse's. And I guess Godsmack has a camera on them. They're backstage. They're, just showing their path from the backstage to inside of the venue and onto the stage. And apparently Ronnie Radke thinks just everybody rips him off for everything, Peaches.
Wait, so...
Did you not see the Godsmack video?
No, but I did see, I saw a whole headline yesterday. Ronnie Radke takes aim at Godsmack now. So.
Yes. Okay, so it was, I already told the listeners, quick recap.
Right, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Godsmack, when I saw him years ago in Vegas, they did this same thing. Godsmack, according to many fans online, has been doing a very similar show for about 15 years. I'm pretty sure I've seen other bands with a camera showing their entrance from the backstage to getting onto stage. We've talked about Ronnie Radke plenty over time. I think the guy needs a vacation.
I think Godsmack's been around for a lot longer than Fallen in Reverse has. I just looked up how old Sully Erna is.
They have been. They've been around since I was a teenager.
Sully Erna is about 60. He's 57.
Yeah.
And Ronnie just turned 40. And I know Parkway Drive also does a similar thing where they show them walking to the stage with the aisle. And
lots of bands do it.
It's a cool thing. It's like you're a wrestler.
Wrestlers do it. Stand-up comedians do it. This is not a new thing.
Goldberg's been doing it way longer than
Exactly.
Reverse.
Exactly. It just seems like the guy needs a break from music. Because I've interviewed him before. It's been a number of years now. But I noticed a progression from the first time I interviewed him to the second. A little bit more of a... I don't necessarily want to say a negative attitude, but maybe a vibe.
Uh-oh.
And now,
Don't make him mad.
well,
He's going to take aim at us.
that would be ridiculous because we're one of the biggest supporters of the band on radio, which I've talked about that before too, that, I don't really, especially now, agree with almost anything he says. He's alienating fans. I don't think he treats portions of his audience well. Hopefully he's not, tuning in every morning to every radio station to see what they're saying.
Could you imagine? That'd be great. Ronnie Radke's listening to us
Someone
right now.
will tweet.
Hi, Ronnie.
Watch one of our listeners who is annoyed by me. K-Bear was talking crap about you. All I said was the guy needs a vacation. Because I think everybody's tired of what he told me was an online persona. Now, that's what he said in an interview. He does these things to generate press. But I think it's burned out at this point.
People
I
are
mean, if
tired
you're
of
taking on Godsmack.
They're nice guys.
Well,
from what I've seen.
I've heard, both ways on Godsmack.
I do like their social media page on Facebook where they clap back at people who just hate on them. I want more bands to do that.
But why aren't they clapping back at Ronnie Radke? He might as well.
Well, Ronnie Radke's like just that loud, obnoxious kid in the back of the class
guess
that
so.
no one cares about.
At this point, nobody's clapping back at him.
No.
Everybody's just kind of burnt out on it.
Right.
Like I said, I'm burnt out on it.
Well, can you imagine being in a band, you put out this album you've worked on for quite some time, you look at the comments, there's one guy saying it's complete garbage, there's another guy saying it's crap. There's tons of people who just hate on everything.
Yeah, the negativity's running rampant. And so I just hope he could, I think it would be better for his career to take a more positive approach. Everything is negative now. Back when he started this persona that he told me about, it wasn't like today on the internet. Mm-hmm. Now it's just one more negative thing that you're like, ugh, and you just scroll past. Like, I don't want to hear his crap,
He's picking on Chris Motionless, who's one of the nicest dudes in the whole industry.
Well, and that one's been going on for a long time. Always thought that was kind of weird, accusing them of ripping him off for music video stuff. Wasn't it that he ripped him off, or he accused him of ripping him off because of turning into a werewolf in a music video?
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
I don't pay attention.
Used the same director or something, but
probably.
There have been other artists who turn into werewolves in music videos. Most famously, you might have seen a video called Thriller by Michael Jackson that just about everybody has seen.
Imagine if he was still around and he was just like, hey, Ronnie, I did it first. Michael Jackson just goes after Ronnie.
It's so exhausting. I just hope that one of these days, because it's getting to the point that I know there are some radio stations that won't play his music, and I just don't think it's good for his career at this point. I think people need some positivity. And that's coming from a guy who complains a lot. You listeners hear me complain. But I always try to at least laugh about it or, try to turn it. I know it doesn't always work out. Sometimes I rage. But
everyone needs
if
to.
that was all I did, because when's the last time you saw Ronnie Radke put out a positive video?
Never.
Like, hey, check out this new song from blank. I love this band. I don't remember the last time I saw him say something positive. And it's annoying to me. Like, dude, throw in some complaints here and there or, start some band. And I'm a guy who called for band feuds for years, but when somebody is just liked every single post, I don't even really look at his posts anymore because I know it's just going to be him raging about something. So somebody give Ronnie Radke a hug. You might go to jail if you just run up. You might not need to get permission first.
You know what? I'll do it.
Peaches, the bringer of hugs.
He's a small little guy, isn't he? Because
he's about my height. He's pretty short.
By him at the show, and I was like, wow, he's tiny.
Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, he's you can tell he works out and stuff, but he's short. But I think he needs a hug or something. It's real weird to think back to the guy I interviewed who was really happy and it was a fun interview. And now I just never see it. Maybe I'm not seeing it. But anytime he's talking into a camera, he's just so mad.
Well, I know Phyllis interviewed him a couple of years ago, and he seemed different back then, too.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be like many people, the state of the world, just beating down on you. And, I mean, he seems to have made a hobby out of fighting online. And I think if you do that long enough, you know, your persona just becomes reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've been there in the past, been an online troll, and, you know, when you just keep yourself in one direction all the time, it's hard to break yourself out of it. So
that's why I just have ChatGPT do my fights for me, as you saw with the water post on the group.
Yes. Yeah, if you're arguing with Peaches about water, he's not even putting effort into his responses. He's having ChatGPT do it.
It's just copy-paste. That's all I'm doing.
All right, do you like getting yelled at? Most people don't. Aside from being, you know, in the crowd at a rock show. Long as it's not somebody else in the crowd. Well, if you do enjoy getting yelled at, I got a list of jobs that are just for you. Or if you hate getting yelled at, you might want to avoid these. This is also probably a good time to point out, maybe if you're dealing with people in these positions, maybe you should settle down a bit and stop yelling at them, you know? Call center or customer service workers. As someone who has worked in a call center and done customer service, I can tell you, you're going to have better results in the end if you don't start screaming at the person on the other end of the phone, okay? They don't, you know, set all of the rules and regulations and guidelines. They're just doing a job, okay? You can express frustration to them, be like, listen, I know you're just doing your job. I'm doing my best to stay patient here. Can I get a manager? But just screaming at people, you're going to get nowhere. And it's rude, okay? It's rude. Try to have a reasonable conversation with people. Social workers and teachers, by parents or by the children they are helping. Yelling at them is not going to do any good. Now, I have had teachers in my own life when I was young, when I was in school, that were very frustrating to me. And I've had my children's teachers from time to time be frustrating. However, I never called or showed up to a parent-teacher conference and just started yelling. You're not going to get anywhere. Now, there are probably times, like I could think back, there were times some of my teachers deserved to be yelled at, but it wouldn't have accomplished anything. And I can tell you, as someone who has yelled at people, I never feel better in the end having yelled at somebody. There's like maybe one or two times in my entire life that I can think of that I yelled at someone in anger and was like, I'm so glad I finally let that person know what I needed to let them know. Pretty much any other time I've yelled at somebody, I end up apologizing because I didn't need to yell. All right? If you want to yell, go to a rock show. Or like turn your stereo up really loud in your house. If you're in an apartment, you might scare your neighbors, but letting a good yell out can feel good, even though I think we did a story recently where they're like, no, yelling and, all that, it's not a stress reliever. You got to do it with some joy. You're listening to some metal cranked up loud and just, yeah! Oh, it feels good. So yeah, don't yell at teachers or social workers. Let's see. The nicer the restaurant, the angrier the chef in my experience. So, if you're working in the back, the chef might yell at you. Is that what's going on here? I don't know. When it's your coworker, that's extra rough. And if it's the boss who's a yeller, So I guess if you don't like getting yelled at, don't work in a kitchen. Holding the flashlight for your dad. I guess that's technically a job. But also, if you're a dad and your kid's trying to help you, I don't know, you're working on an engine or something, cut them some slack. They're a kid. You don't need to yell at them for not pointing the flashlight in the right place. Just be like, hey, could you point that over here? A little more this way, buddy. What's wrong with you, kid? I said point. Oh, no. Yeah, that's what you don't do. Food service workers, I have mentioned countless times that you should treat fast food workers good, okay? Everybody seems to, look down on that as like, oh, it's an entry-level position, blah, blah, blah. Now, fast food workers should make good money, in my opinion, because it's a high-stress job, nonstop activity, and people treat you terribly. So, yeah. If you ain't down with low pay and getting yelled at, fast food's probably not for you. Again, treat your fast food workers better, okay? Anybody, servers, who hollers at the waitress? Why my food taking so long to get out here? Blech! This isn't up to my standards. Settle down. Just settle down a bit. Healthcare workers. I mean, I've gotten frustrated with the healthcare industry. All of these, I can guarantee that yelling at somebody is not going to get you any further. Oh, my goodness. Basically any job where you deal with people. Yeah, sometimes I get listeners yelling at me. It's rare. I wish that every time listeners had a complaint, they'd just call me, but instead they whine to my friends and things like that. So, yeah, if you have complaints, always feel free to give me a call at 208-535-1015. Let's chat it out live on the air. It's fun. It's like another friend of mine who I was arguing with on Facebook the other day, and he wanted to do it in my private messenger. I'm like, dude, let's do this in the comments. Like everybody else. No, come on. You got a problem with something I said, let's duke it out publicly with our words. Not like, let's throw down, let's get in the cage. Nah. Don't be afraid to have a discussion in the open. So yeah, the complaint line's always open at 208-535-1015. If you yell, I might yell back. So let's not yell at each other, but I would love to hear your complaints. All right, and we can do it live on air. It's fun. It's fun. It's like, the way radio should be. Let's bring some excitement to things. Hey, I can dream. Walk on home, boy. What up? It's Victor Wilt. I was just reading through a radio article. When is the DJ allowed to have a bad day? Let's talk about it. Yeah. Apparently, some radio people out there think you should never have a bad day. Now, if you listen to my show, sometimes I have a bad day. I try to make it funny. Try to laugh at myself. Sometimes it's rough, though. Well, some days are certainly worse than others. Now, if every day all I did was complain, be negative, that would get old. All right? If I didn't attempt to laugh at myself for my bad day, like this morning, computers were broken when I got in. The people who listen during the 6 o'clock hour, they get to hear me at my very worst. Because that's when I'm, waking up. That's when I'm discovering that things aren't working properly in the studio. So if I have a meltdown, it's likely to happen during that hour. And then I usually come back and I'm like, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to fly off the handle. My bad. I couldn't help myself. But I know radio shows who never have a bad day. Well, that's what they put out on the air anyway. Yeah. And then when you know what's going on behind the scenes, like I've known morning shows that hate each other, that they literally hate each other. And it's constant bickering, when the mics are off, then the mics come on and, hey, everybody, everything's great. I would much rather hear somebody just being honest than these fake shows that pretend everything is sunshine and rainbows all the time. That's not reality. That's not life for any human being. I would hope that when I'm having a bad day, I portray it in a way that's, for the most part, entertaining and that you can also connect with. Yeah. Because I know you might have a bad day. I would assume you have a bad day from time to time. But yeah, reading through some of the comments from radio people in here, I'm glad to see that most are saying, sometimes you've got to be honest with your audience. You're a human being. But then there's others that go, well, you should very rarely do this, and under what circumstances should be pretty well defined and part of our secret sauce. Radio jargon, man. secret sauce. I've had people ask me before, what's your secret sauce to your show, to your programming? I'm like, you mean secret sauce? Programming radio is not rocket science. Just play songs people like. Jeez. There's no secret sauce other than pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening in the music world. I don't know what the secret sauce for my show is, because I don't even think my show's necessarily good. Now, people around here seem to like it. I've seen the ratings year after year. Sometimes I wonder why. You know, why do you people like me? Why do you listen to me? I appreciate it. I don't necessarily get it, but maybe it's just I'm me. All right, what you get on air is the real me, minus a lot of my, like, you know, political thoughts, which, you know, people will say, Victor getting all political. Trust me, I don't get political. You might think I do, but I don't, because if I started spouting off my political beliefs, I know some people would get crazy. So I might dip a toe in here and there. But for the most part, I just try to be me. You get the same me you get off air, you know, minus words I'm not allowed to say on the radio. You know, if you've ever talked to me at a show or something, might hear me use a little bit different language, but it's still the same me. So I would assume that's why people enjoy the show, even when I suck, even when I'm melting down because things aren't working, when I'm flubbing words. It's a real live show. And when you're live, like I mentioned earlier, you can't take it back. You got to roll with the punches. So sometimes this show's a disaster, a complete disaster. I know why most radio shows pre-record. It's so they can put out a perfectly executed break and edit things as needed. I could do that. It's boring and it's not challenging, so I'd rather fall on my face and suck than do an edited show that's thrown together in a way where I can cut out all the ums and uhs. Yeah, like if you listen to my podcast version of my show versus a show that puts out, you know, an hour a week that they have very carefully edited, I'm going to sound like a dumpster fire at times compared to those shows, but I just put the live audio out. I don't have all day to be editing this thing. So anyway, what's your secret sauce? I saw that phrase and was just like, oh, you ever hear that from a radio person? There's a lot of stupid terms in this business. Like when radio people get fired, they exited the company. That sounds so pleasant for somebody losing their job. This business is so fake sometimes. Anyway, let's see. This person says, for me, morning shows went downhill when they went too personal and sounded like someone suspended a mic over an average office water cooler or middle school locker room. There's something to be said for the old 1950s-60 philosophy that a jock should always sound cheerful and upbeat. Getting up and preparing for the daily grind is hard enough for most people. Best thing a morning personality can do is make it easier with humor, good cheer, and service elements. Who is W.T. Koltek? Never heard of this person. Let's Google him up here. All right. Well, guy's definitely old. He was on the radio in the 60s? Is that for real? Got an air check from 1981. Should we pass judgment on W.T. Koltek? Might be a killer jock. Let's check this out. I'm very curious what W.T. Koltek's all about.
91 WYEP 811. And this time next week, we will have Ronald Reagan in the White House. So enjoy yourself. It's later than you think, folks.
Hey, he's getting political right out of the gate. Yeah, where's your rules on that, WT?
91 WYEP. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Those are the specials.
WYEP.
Progressive heavies in our vast audience. Here's the band that later went on to become Gentle Giant. But back in 1967, they called themselves Simon Dupree and the Big Sow. They had this one in 1967. Here it is on YEP.
Now, guys, would you want my show to be that way? Guys and gals, in between every song, I talk for 10 seconds. That's the old 1960s way. Let's see. I got to get the WT, phrasing and flow down here. Because he's definitely using the old school style of talking. There we go. I'm kind of getting in the mode here. So we just played Pantera Walk. Great band out doing some shows with the new lineup featuring Zakk Wylde on guitar. It's not really. Oh wait, I better not offer up any thoughts on it whatsoever because we always got to be cheerful with WT Coltec.
Bring your own refreshments if you're interested.
What kind of break was that? Why would you put that in your air check? Bring your own refreshments. That was all he said. This is a terrible air check. If you're going to throw together an air check, everybody, note, if you're going to come out of the music, like give it like 2 seconds and just get to the talking. This is ridiculous. What is going on? What is this? Why isn't WT Coltec talking? Let's jump ahead. Okay, I guess they just play the whole song. Anyway, if you're having a bad day, I think it's okay to express it. That's what I think. You don't need to, be fake. You don't need to be pretend. Now, don't just walk around being a jerk all the time. But, talking to people when you're having a bad day is a good thing. When I'm having a real bad day, I get support from you listeners. You'll call and be like, hey, dude, sorry, having a bad day. I don't appreciate blah, blah, blah. Makes me feel a little bit better. When is the radio DJ? Okay, let's see. A radio personality should be a mirror to the market, reflecting how they are feeling. You want my show to sound like the East Idaho News comment section? I don't know if I want to be a mirror to the market. Not in 2025. Thank you again for tuning in to the Victor Welch Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.